Timer starts now. Well, so the answer is the Battle of Mullaria. There's a famous poem about that as well, right? Right, so
7.
7. Right. Question 7. So, which team has made the most appearances at the Men's Rugby World Cup final without ever winning the tournament? Timer starts now.
New Zealand?
Sorry?
New Zealand?
No, it's not New Zealand. New Zealand actually has won it, I think, 3 times. And they're the ones who have won most. So the answer is, actually the answer is on the screen. I mean, if you can see it. Answer is France, who were finalists in 1987, 99 and 2011. They lost to New Zealand in 87 and 2011 and to Australia in 99. Hopefully next year they will change this trend because World Cup will be held in France. Right.
Question number 1.
1. Right. So, the man of the moment. Right. So, following his visit to Japan in end of September, President Ranil Wickremesinghe attended the meeting of the Asian Development Bank's Board of Governors. In which city was this meeting held? Your timer starts now. Well,
Nagayo.
it was in Manila, Philippines. Right. University of Colombo.
31.
41.
31.
31. Virat Kohli ended the 1021-day century drought, scoring his 71st international century in the recently concluded Men's Asia Cup 2022. Against which team did he make this century? The timer starts.
Afghanistan.
Yes, that's the correct answer. It's Afghanistan. Right, Rajat University.
4.
4. Which murder mystery play by Agatha Christie is the longest running play in the United Kingdom, having run in the West End theatres since 1952? Right. So it's a play called The Mousetrap. Right, NC.
We go 42.
42. You are going to love this. And I hope you answer this correct too. Who is the current CEO of the Colombo Stock Exchange? Your timer. My God, this is Okay, so it's Mr. Rajiv Bandaranaike. So, in my defense, the question was made before I got to know he was the chief guest today, right? Right, so, right, University of Colombo, your next question.
6.
6. Right, so, another man of the year, I guess. The death of Queen Elizabeth on September 8th ended Prince Charles's 64-year tenure as the longest-serving Prince of Wales as he became King Charles III. Who was Britain's longest-serving Prince of Wales prior to Charles claiming this rather unwanted record in 2017? Timer starts now. So, before Prince Charles, he was Prince Edward. He became Edward the Seventh in 1901 at the death of Queen Victoria. He was Prince of Wales for 60 years. Right, Rajarat University. Your next question.
28.
28. Right, so 28. In September, Adobe announced that it will be acquiring a software design startup in a deal worth 20 billion US dollars, which makes it the biggest takeover of a private software company ever. What is this startup, which found significant success during the pandemic due to its cloud-based design software that allows remote workers to collaborate in real time? Your timer starts now. Okay. Which fictional character created by Charles Dickens famously says, "Please, sir, I want some more"?
Oliver Twist.
Yes, that's correct. Oliver Twist. Right, Rajarat University.
25.
25. Alright, so in 2024, Paris will become the second city to host the Summer Olympic Games 3 times, having hosted the Games in 1900 and 1924 previously. To date, what is the only city to have hosted the Summer Olympic Games 3 times? Your timer starts now.
Mexico?
No, it's not Mexico. It's London. London hosted the Olympics in 1908, 1948, 1948 when Duncan White won a silver medal, and also in 2012. All right,
50.
50, 50, 50, right?
50.
Right. A recent data leak revealed information on a game in development, which is the next installment of a much beloved video game franchise, the last installment of which was released in 2013. What is this game? Your timer starts now.
GTA 6.
Yes, that's correct. It's GTA 6. Grand Theft Auto. So we are halfway across, right? Right. So halfway across, we have University of Colombo leading. Right. University of Colombo. Your next question.
16.
16.
16.
1 6. Right. Right. So the Imagination Library is a book gifting club that provides free books to all registered children from birth to their 5th birthday. Which US country star was instrumental in establishing the Imagination Library? Timer starts now. So the answer is Dolly Parton. So this is a global program. This is now not only in the US, it's also in UK, Ireland, Australia. So it started in 1995 because she wanted, in her home county, which is called Sevier County in Tennessee, she wanted children to read. So she started donating books to children, and that's how this initiative started. Right. Rajarata University, your next question.
22.
22. Okay, so we have a video. Right, so the question is, this is a scene from one of the most famous and actually famous movies of all time that was released exactly 50 years ago. Who is the actor in this iconic scene? Right, so this actor is Marlon Brando. He said that this scene where he pets the cat was not in the script. The cat actually got into his lap when the camera started running, so he just played along with the cat as much as the movie. So yeah, so right.
39.
39. Right. In August, India and Pakistan celebrated their 75th anniversary of gaining independence from Britain. Who was the last viceroy of British India that oversaw the independence process? That's him on the screen. It's Lord Louis Mountbatten. All right, University of Colombo.
48.
48. Okay, so located along the earthquake-prone Ring of Fire, which Asian island nation experiences 20% of the world's 6.0 magnitude or higher earthquakes annually?
Indonesia.
No, it's not Indonesia. Actually, it's a good guess, but the answer is Japan. It's the yes, yeah.
12.
12. Right. So, what is the only country with which the United Kingdom shares a border? So the only country with which the United Kingdom shares a border is the Republic of Ireland. Across the Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland shares a border. Just to set the record straight, Britain has overseas territories, so if you count those, Gibraltar shares a border with Spain, and there are crown territories in Cyprus shares borders with the Republic of Cyprus. But the United Kingdom shares the border only with the Republic of Ireland. Right. ANC
40.
14.
40.
40. You are following the World Cup, right? So this should be easy. Which former 4-time FIFA World Cup winner misses their second consecutive World Cup final after losing to North Macedonia in their playoff semi-final?
Italy.
That's correct. It's Italy. They lost to Sweden in 2018 qualifiers, so this time they lost North Macedonia. Right, University of Colombo.
33.
23.
33.
33. CAMEL is an internationally recognized rating system used by regulatory authorities, including the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, to assess the overall strength of a bank or a financial institution. What does the L in CAMEL stand for?
Leverage.
Sorry?
Leverage.
No, it's not leverage, it's liquidity. But I'd say it's a good guess though. Right.
44.
44. Right, so Mount Vesuvius erupted in 79 AD, burying two Roman settlements under layers of lava and volcanic ash. Pompeii was the more famous of the two settlements. What is the other? So Pompeii is famous for this disaster, but Pompeii was not alone when it happened. The other city was Herculaneum or Herculaneum. Right.
20.
Sorry?
20.
20. Do you gamble? But you probably wish you do, okay. What is the name given to the poker hand that contains any 5 cards of sequential values in the same suit that is not 10 through A's?
Straight flush.
Yes, that's correct. It's straight flush. So you don't gamble, are you sure? So what is it if it's 10 through A's of the same suit?
Royal flush.
That's correct too, but no points. Right, University of Colombo.
34.
34. Right. Which popular musician withdrew his catalog from Spotify as a statement against the company's inaction against podcasts that feature fake news, stating that they can have either Rogan or him, but not both? Right, so this is the musician, he's Neil Young. Right, Rajat University.
5.
5. Right. So, under a 10-year project announced in 2019, which Asian country plans to shift its capital to a purpose-built city mainly due to environmental concerns over the current capital? Right, your time's up. It's Indonesia. They are moving their capital to a city called Nusantara on the island of Borneo because Jakarta is congested and there's also a risk of the city sinking. Right.
30. 30.
30. Right, so this year marks the 80th anniversary of the pivotal Second Battle of El Alamein that turned the tide of the Second World War's Mediterranean theatre. In which modern-day country did this important battle take place?
Germany. Germany.
No, it's not Germany. As I said, it was in the Mediterranean. It was in Egypt. Right. So we've come to the last set of questions. So University of Colombo, last question. Sorry.
18.
Sorry?
18.
18. Right. So carved out of a single block of marble, the statue of David is considered a masterpiece of Renaissance sculpture. Created by Michelangelo between 1501 and 1504, in which city would you find the original David today?
Greece?
No, it's not in Greece. I'm asking a city, so it's in Florence, Italy. It was actually where it has been all the time. So, right, Rajat University.
11.
11. Right. It's a bit of a long question, so you will have to listen carefully. An exchange traded fund or an ETF tracks the movement of an index, sector, commodity, or other asset, making it easy to invest in a whole host of markets from stocks in emerging markets to gold. Much like stocks, they are also traded in exchanges. The chart shows as of January 2022, the 5 largest ETFs in the US that use a rule-based system to pick investments for its fund portfolio. What term describes an ETF that uses a rule-based system to pick investments for its fund portfolio? Right, so it's called Smart Beta ETF or Strategic Beta ETF, also called Factor-Based ETF. Right. So, last question of the day.
46.
46. Okay, so the 27th United Nations Climate Change Conference, better known as COP27 or COP27, was held from 6 to 18th November in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, with the attendance of representatives of 190 countries. Which city is expected to host the 28th conference or COP28 in 2023?
Shanghai.
No, it's not Shanghai. It'll be in Dubai, UAE. Right, so that ends the quiz for today. So we have to we'll have to wait for a few minutes to get the results finalized and the certificates finalized. While we wait, I guess we all know what happened. I just want to say something. I just want to thank on behalf of the quiz club. Actually, I think I never did this. I want to thank the University of Kelaniya, the lecturers, the dean, and the organizing committee. All of you, I think I've never expressed it, but I know how much you all appreciate what we do. So, and since I've never said it, I just want to thank you all for hosting this, inviting us to do this. We've done this for 10 years. 10 years is not a short time. I actually realized it last day when I came here because of something one of my team members said. So, so just want to thank all of you for continuing this partnership with us. Thank you very much.
Yes, well, it was indeed competitive. We are eagerly waiting to witness the winners of the grand finale of the inter-university quiz competition, and the competitors, you can take your respective seats in the audience. Now we have reached one of the most important items in today's agenda. Mr. Rajiv Bandaranaike has been in the finance industry with over 30 years of experience in financial services. He has served in a senior management capacity at the stock exchange in trading, clearing and settlement, branch development, marketing, and human resources, and has led several market development initiatives and counts over 25 years at the stock exchange. Mr. Rajiv holds a degree in law from the Open University of Sri Lanka, a master's in business administration from the University of Southern Queensland, Australia, and a postgraduate diploma in marketing from the Chartered Institute of Marketing and the stockbroker certification from the Securities Institute of Australia.
This grand invitation opens to our guest of honor for the day, Mr. Rajiv Bandaranaike, the Chief Executive Officer of the Colombo Stock Exchange. Sir, would you please oblige?
Thank you. It's a special day because this is the first time I was featured in a quiz competition. Good evening to all of you today. Dr. Narada Fernando, Professor Juan Abesekara, Dr. Chatura Liyanage, academic staff of the universities of Kelaniya, Colombo, Rajarata and the ANC, representatives from Equity Knowledge Partners, our quiz masters today, guest invitees, and my dear students from the three universities. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me today for the culmination of the investment week that is being organized by your Students Association of the Department of Finance of the Kelaniya University on the theme, Reviving Through the Economic Crisis. So we are eagerly awaiting the results of the quiz, and congratulations to all those, not only the winners, but to all those who took part in the quiz competition. See, just as we moved out of COVID, from the disruption of COVID, I think we are being slammed by new challenges from a softening of the world global economy, as well as serious environmental concerns like extreme weather that we are experiencing. In Sri Lanka, we are experiencing challenges with regard to economic, social, and political upheavals that we are seeing today. You probably would have read and heard hundreds of opinions on how to deal with the economy and the social implications over the past few months. And I'm sure over the last 3 days, you have heard probably an overload of information on what to do with the economy and the challenges that we are facing. So I thought today I am not going to add to the confusion, but rather take a slightly different perspective. You see, the blame game is quite rampant, and we are blaming each other. We blame our politicians, we blame our bureaucrats, we blame our businessmen, our traders, our law enforcement authorities, so all the people in general. But I also believe that we must look inward at ourselves to consider what each of us can do. If we are serious about resetting our country and our economy, realizing that if we are going to put back Sri Lanka into a sound footing and not go into a possible second default like some of the other countries have experienced, we need to collaborate very effectively as a country and as a society to do this. I think among the many reasons for the failure of the economy, one of the reasons may also be the lack of understanding, particularly among policymakers and legislators, of how to craft and implement a proper strategy for our country. But this is no easy task, as you know, and many countries have had national committees and initiatives to do this and implement long-term planning. I think Singapore is a good example of that. But to do an effective job of this nature, the right skills and above all, sound literacy levels are required, particularly among the broad community. So when I speak of literacy, I really mean financial literacy. The reason for saying this is that even as a society, even though we boast of high levels of literacy, meaning the ability to read and write, we lack the financial literacy. And if you look at the average voter who have been voting and electing governments since independence, it would seem that they are more guided by very short-term gains rather than appreciate the larger picture, realizing the importance of adopting an appropriate system of governance for the country. Good governance, transparency, and accountability are not something that we can trade off for short-term gains. I think if I put it in the context of the corporate sector, some of you may be aware that even in the capital market, in the stock exchange, we have rules around good governance, requiring companies to adhere to minimum standards of governance in the way they manage their companies, in the way they run their companies. And if you look at the set of rules, that's a good example of how a corporate has to behave as a responsible corporate citizen. I think you can make the same application at a national level as well. What are the good governance measures that we should have among policymakers as well? So therefore, this fact is not something we can really ignore for short-term gains that we have been doing. As a country, I think many of us didn't realize that we were living beyond our means for many decades, that we were not paying the full cost of our utilities, that the country could not exist as a welfare state, that we can ill afford the subsidies that we were giving our people for a very long time, and that government institutions are not job factories. I think this, coupled with economic policies that our country adopted, created the present predicament that we are in. So while we continue to demand for resetting of the system, while we continue to press for reforms peacefully, and I wish to stress that we must do this peacefully and lawfully, as violent, disruptive demonstrations will only plunge the country, as you know, into further chaos. We must also strive to do whatever we can in our own environments to make a positive impact, as I said, in a very collaborative manner. Now, I believe that financial markets, when we talk of financial markets have to be understood by society in general. And financial markets are not meant for only those who are engaged in it. And there are a lot of reasons for that. As a society, if we are going to be more responsible, if we are going to take more responsible decisions, one of the key tenets would be financial inclusivity that will give people at all levels access to the financial system of the country. And I think this is something that many people are realizing, and of course the transformation is happening, but at a pace that we cannot be quite satisfied with. So a financial system of a country can only be effective if individuals are aware of the risk that they take and how to make use of these financial services. Now this aspect of risk, Dr. Narada Fernando referred to this concept of risk. Now risk is not something, as probably you would have learned, is not something we can totally eliminate. But we can minimize and manage risk. And I think that is particularly important when it comes to capital markets. And they will teach you in capital markets about managing risk. And of course, you would have heard the risk and return when you make stock market investments. So therefore, on one hand, we must make financial services more accessible to a broader community and also make it easily understood. To do this, I think improving the levels of financial literacy becomes very important. And I thought I will spend a little bit of time talking about this aspect of the importance of financial literacy. And you as members of the financial fraternity are best equipped, I believe, to take this message forward. The broader sections of community should be taught the importance of financial planning so that they learn that a planned, disciplined process is the best way to build wealth and forces people also to think long term. Financial literacy also means that you think of ways and means of borrowing money in a smart manner. For example, a basic question that you ask yourself when you wish to borrow is that you have a disposable income and the income surplus to repay any loan that you would take. Now, surprisingly, except perhaps for those who are on fixed term salaries, most people don't really consider this and just hope for the best. If you look at the massive provisioning that banks and finance companies are currently making, it all points to a complete lack of financial planning on the part of borrowers, of course, coupled with some bad business luck as well, and high interest rates that we're experiencing. But a proper understanding, I believe, of finances will also teach you how to avoid aggressive lenders who may not make a full disclosure about repayment terms, etc. So as we know, it's all very easy to get into a debt trap, and credit cards probably is an example of an easy route to get into this debt trap. It's very easy to get a credit card these days, and even easier to spend money that you really don't have. Credit card companies have also made it very easy for you to repay only a minimum amount of what is due, but what you don't realize that the interest keeps snowballing every month. So in a situation when there is an interest rate hike, like what we have today, you will find that your debt then becomes unsustainable. You may even get into a situation where you will find yourself taking more loans to repay your existing debt. This is a very real scenario and also, I think, quite common. I'm sure this also rings a bell because successive Sri Lankan governments have also done the same. I think understanding financial planning will help us to successfully live within our means. It will also teach us the importance of saving and investing, and also to understand the difference between savings and investment. I think if we are more financially savvy, it will have multiple good effects of preparing ourselves to deal with the rapidly changing financial landscape. Now, you would have heard of a multitude of financial products that are being offered today, and many of those products are not even properly understood by a large amount of people who really get into those. We talk of mobile wallets, various credit products, including crypto investments, and various other pyramid schemes that are being offered today. And you would have also probably read and heard various regulators from time to time talking about these schemes and to be careful of investing in those schemes. All these entice people really to spend money they don't even really have. So with an aging population, learning and being knowledgeable about retirement savings particularly becomes an important tool which will help people face the economic challenges of retirement and not be a burden to society. I think retirement savings and planning was in Sri Lanka is a more recent feature and phenomena. I remember when we were young, there's no concept of retirement planning, and I wish there was, because I think I would have been a wealthier person had those insurance companies had come up with retirement planning schemes at that time. But today, you will find that there is a focus on retirement savings and planning as a young people. I think this is something that you should really think about very seriously once you start your careers and your businesses. So I think it's very important that people learn to take responsibility for managing their own personal finances in a responsible manner. If they do that successfully, in turn, they will have a deeper appreciation for the need for financial discipline at a national and country level. So part of the problem, I think, is that as people, if you get the broader population, they really don't understand and take responsibility even for their personal finances. So lack of appreciation for what is happening at maybe at national level as well. So if you look at our system teaches us to study, to achieve qualifications, and to seek a job. It seems to be that there is a lack of financial skills being taught at school level. which means that most people will not know how to manage money. When we walked in today, we saw some very nice placards that you had put about learning to manage money. I think that's an extremely good statement and the right direction to take. The core problem in working for money is that you will never have enough to manage your life. You need to understand, therefore, the difference between an asset and a liability. So one puts money into your pocket and the other one really takes it out. So the smart way is to become financially independent, and to do that, you need to build income generating assets that can pay for your expenses. As a country, we need to do the same, and I think we have learned it the hard way. If we can do that, I think we can be successful both at a personal or individual level and as well as a country level. But it's also important to learn how to make money work for you. And therefore, we must also have people being job creators and not only job seekers. So in society, we need both job seekers as well as job creators. And today we have an abundance of job seekers and too little entrepreneurs. So we have too many people chasing behind so many few jobs and so few people creating too little jobs. So I believe the first step in widening the pool of entrepreneurs or job creators is financial literacy. And as undergraduates too, I believe you can play a significant role in involving yourselves to assist in this initiative, improve the levels of financial literacy in the country. I think you all are fortunate to be in finance to appreciate and understand what I have been talking about. But if you take the broader society, that level of skills and understanding is not inculcated among the broader society. Now, if I take Bangladesh as an example, I am told that in a program involving 2 million females conducted recently, the female adult financial literacy rate has increased from 27% in the 1990s to 72% last year. And I'm not really sure about the male counterpart figures, but I'm also told that in that period, in the last 3 decades, Bangladesh has recorded the fastest and most stable rate of GDP growth among the developing countries and is now recognized as among one of the top 40 growing economies of the world. Today, 50 years since independence, they have achieved a per capita income that has crossed $2,000 and a GDP of over 350 billion US. Poverty rates have plunged from 43% to 14% last year, and economists have predicted that by 2026 they will graduate out of a least developed country LDC status. So maybe the improvement in their financial literacy levels also is having an impact in their success as well. So I believe that as academics, the likes of you have a very responsible role to perform, as you are, as I said, a set of people who are fortunate enough, who have had the opportunity to acquire the financial knowledge, the skills, the attitudes and behaviors that are necessary to better understand financial decision making. So may I suggest, as future graduates with a financial discipline that you're learning today from a very well recognized university with an excellent track record, that you do 2 things. Firstly, is to meaningfully engage yourselves in assisting and improving the levels of financial literacy in the country. And there are many, many ways that you can do that. For instance, you can be involved in one of the many professional institutes that we have today in the country, to involve yourselves in those institutions, and they are actively promoting financial literacy around the country. We ourselves are involved in a program where we conduct programs around the country, around 500 plus webinars and seminars, all aimed at improving the levels of financial literacy in schools, talking to universities, as well as various investor groups. So one positive contribution you can make is to get involved in this process, because you are probably a set of people who have the capability and the ability to do that. Secondly, with the financial acumen that you are gaining from the university, please try to be a job creator in society, because there's an abundance of opportunities for entrepreneurs. This is not only for the sake of the country, but also for your own individual well-being. So with that said, I will conclude my few remarks today, but take this opportunity to wish every one of you all success in your future academic careers, and also we like to see you graduating and joining the business areas that you are exposed to, and we would like to also cordially invite you to join capital markets. An abundance of opportunities in capital markets also await you, and we have a lot of programs that we can get yourselves involved. We have an internship program for universities, and we'll very cordially welcome any of you to come and experience capital markets by working with us. We work quite closely with the University of California now. We have a MOU with you, and we would love to see a greater participation from your university in the development of capital markets, not only at the stock exchange, but there are a number of market intermediaries like stockbrokers, margin providers, portfolio managers, credit rating agencies, and various other intermediaries who operate, who make up the ecosystem. So this invitation is for you to consider financial markets as a career, and as I said earlier, not only for a job, but also try to be a job creator, and we need lots of job creators in Sri Lanka as well. So in conclusion, let me congratulate once again the Students Association for a job well done. As Dr. Narada Fernando said, this is no easy task to put together an investment week and culminating it with a very interesting quiz competition as well. So once again, good luck and all the best to every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for inspiring us with your timely words. It was indeed valuable for our undergraduates. To present the token of appreciation to Mr. Rajiv Bandaranaike, we would like to invite Dr. Narada Fernando, Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Management Studies, accompanied by Professor Ruwan Abesekara, Head, Department of Finance, to come up on stage. Once again, thank you, sir.
So now we are moving on to the most anticipated moment you all have been waiting for, the winner of the Inter-University Finance Quiz Competition 2022.
So Prabhash, any guesses on who the champions of the Inter-University Finance Quiz Competition might be?
It can be either University of Colombo, Rajrata University of Sri Lanka, or else American National College. So first of all, we will announce the second runner-up of the Inter-University Finance Quiz Competition 2022. The second runner-up of the Inter-University Finance Quiz Competition 2022 is Rajrata University of Sri Lanka. Give a big round of applause to Rajrata University of Sri Lanka.
To award the certificates, I now cordially invite Mr. Rajiv Bandaranaike, Chief Executive Officer, Colombo Stock Exchange, Mr. Rihab Faisal, Assistant Director, Training and Knowledge Management, Aquatic Knowledge Partners. Cadre Chair and Senior Professor Chitra Ranjani, Department of Finance.
This invitation is for the Rajrata University of Sri Lanka to collect the certificates. The team comprised of Kanchana Sandaruwan, Anushka Dilrukshi, Purnima Kaushalya, Himanka Disanayaka, and Yashoda Bandara.
Mr. Rajiv and Mr. Rihab, would you please remain on stage? Thank you, Madam Ranjani. And to felicitate our champions and the runners-up, I would like to cordially invite Dr. Narada Fernando, Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Management Studies, and Professor Ruwan Abesekara, Head, Department of Finance. So this is the moment we have all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, the champions of the Inter-University Finance Quiz competition is American National College. To accept the certificates now, we would like to invite the winning team comprising of Gatsara Rasanjaya, Dinuki Edirisinghe, Ramiru Senaviratna, Devini Metindi, Thiago Pereira. They will also receive a cash prize of 50,000 rupees and a trophy presented by Aquatic Knowledge Partners.
American National College, you can now accept your trophy along with this. Give a big round of applause to the champions, American National College. Sir, please remain on stage. As we all know, the first runner-up of the Inter-University Finance Quiz Competition 2022 is University of Colombo. To accept the certificates now, we would like to invite University of Colombo. The team comprised of Sahani Jayamaha, Fatima Amna Amjad, Fatima Nusrat Rizvi, and Nikhil Senaviratna. Thank you, sir. And once again, we would like to congratulate the winners and all the other participants who took part in the competition.
This competition would not have been successful without their contribution. And with their constant guidance, we were able to increase the quality of this competition year by year. It's time to appreciate the contribution of Equity Knowledge Partners. To present the tokens of appreciation to the judges of the quiz competition, I cordially invite Dr. Narada Fernando, Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Management Studies, accompanied by Professor Ruwan Abesekara, Head, Department of Finance, to come up on stage. Quizmaster, Mr. Jetha Alvitigala, Delivery Lead, Equity Knowledge Partners. Mr. Shah Rasikh, Assistant Director, Equity Knowledge Partners. Thank you, sir. This marks the end of the Inter-University Finance Quiz Competition 2022.
The Inter-Department Debate Competition, Lord of the Debate 2022, organized by the second-year undergraduates of the Department of Finance, was successfully concluded today in the morning. The Department of Human Resource Management emerged as champions. Congratulations to the winners and all the participants. Music speaks what cannot be expressed, soothes the mind and gives it rest, heals the heart and makes it whole, flows from heaven to the soul. Dancing is like taking a mini vacation from the stress of the everyday. Therefore, this invitation is for our second-year undergraduates to mesmerize the audience with beautiful performances.
मुझको बता दे चाहूं मैं आना तो दिल को बता दे चाहूं मैं आना
तू ही मुझको बता दे चाहूं मैं आना अपने तो दिल का बता दे चाहूं मैं आना
तो नहीं इसकी यारो
फिर मैं ये सोचा दिल ने अब चल लगा हूँ मिलने पूछो तुझे एक बार हो तू ही मुझको बता दे चाहूं मैं आना अपने तो दिल का बता තේරුනේ නැතෝ වටනුඹේ කරුමෙට ප්‍රේමයේ වැළපෙනු ඇයි සදහට
සෝබනේ නුඹ දන්නැති මේ ආදරේ හිම් හිම් නැති ආදවී මගේ හොඳ ගති වටහාලගන්නේ නම්බටි
නීච වීඩින් ගක් හරි ග්‍රහ මණ්ඩලේ වර දක් ඇති ආලවීමේ ඇයි හැටි දකිනා හැමෝටම හිමි නැති
දන්නැති මේ ආදරේ නිම් හිම් නැති ආදවී මගේ හොඳ ගති වටහාලගන්නේ නම්බටි
Those were indeed two very beautiful performances. So thank you for mesmerizing the audience with those performances.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to take this opportunity to recognize the sponsors of this event, without whom this event would not be what it is today.